Hello, 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 and welcome to another Phoenix Fitness Fanatics Magazine featured business spotlight. We are taking center stage on the Own It platform as always, and I have an amazing woman that I have to introduce you to today. She is one of our contributing writers. We are so excited to have her. I'm just going to go ahead and bring her on in. And y'all, I was going to start out with some music because I'm gonna tell you right now, this lady right here knows how to move. So come on in. Good morning,
Hi.
Marina.
Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to be here.
Oh my goodness, I am so excited to have you. Marina is the CEO and founder of Brazily Fitness, y'all. Okay, look, get your groove on. Look, let me stop because I was just telling Mariana backstage, I don't have any rhythm. So, all right, Mariana, please introduce yourself. Tell everybody a little bit about you.
Cool. So my name is Mariana Santos. I'm from Ottawa, Canada. My parents are Brazilian. So when I was a teenager, I moved to Brazil, and that's when I was introduced to the Brazilian culture, just the overall vibe, just their very unique approach to fitness and lifestyle. And it just it changed my life. It propelled me into a fitness career. And then I came back to Canada, became a personal trainer, group exercise instructor. And after about 8 years, I just felt like something was missing in my life. And I ended up back in Brazil by myself, barely speaking the language, and just got much deeper into the culture and made amazing friends. And it was such an amazing experience. I stayed there for almost 6 years. I met my husband there, who's also a dance fitness instructor. And we came up with this dream of ours to share this really unique vibe with the rest of the world. So here we are.
Oh my gosh, that's so awesome and just so exciting. So, what is the story behind Brazilian Fitness?
Yeah. So I think it kind of starts back, like I was saying, when I was a teenager, my dad got a job in Brazil, so we had to move there. And you know how teenagers are, right? So I wasn't too happy about that decision, having to leave all my friends behind. And, I hadn't really, even though my parents are Brazilian, I didn't really speak Portuguese yet. I could understand it, but I really couldn't communicate. So just adjusting to a new language, getting through school and everything was really challenging. But also I had a lot of issues with my confidence. I was a little bit overweight. I was very, very insecure about my appearance. And then all of a sudden I was in this culture where everyone takes extra care of their appearance, right? So that was very difficult for me. And then I started to realize that over time, especially the second time that I went back, that Brazilians just have this natural way of taking care of themselves, and they don't feel guilty for it. So yes, they want to look good, but I think especially they want to feel good. And I think that a lot of times we feel, especially, as we take on roles as, mothers and spouses and stuff, we feel like we need to be everything for everyone, and we forget about ourselves along the way. So really my mission with Brazily Fitness is just helping people to understand that they are, they have the right to feel happy. They have the right to do what feels good, no matter what that means to them. And that's just my mission. So we have 4 programs that we're going to be launching. But I think really kind of the history behind each of these programs is the vibe and how you can help people to live, a happier, more joyful life with more fun just by teaching these programs.
Oh, I love it. And I love, you touching on that self-care because that's everything. And we go through day in and day out, like you said, taking care of everyone. You're taking care of the spouse, you're taking care of the kids, you're taking care of jobs and things like that. And you're forgetting about yourself. And you need to just take a moment and have a time of joy, right? Dancing, lighting some candles, meditating, whatever brings you to that happy place, but really spending that time. So tell me, I know, running a business and, being an entrepreneur, it can be, very stressful. So
Yes.
what are some of the ways that you and your husband spend time doing that self-care for you guys? How do you guys do that?
Well, I think for us, I think our whole story, we were really connected through our mutual love for dance, right? So for us, like just when we have those moments together where we're putting together new choreography and just dancing together, I think that's what really fires us up, even though it is our job. But it's funny because sometimes we don't have the chance to get together because, you know, we have different things that we have to work on. And that I notice that when we're getting really extra busy and we don't have that time together, that makes a difference. And even if I'm having a bad day or something, all I have to do is play my Brazilian music and start rocking out, and it changes things. So I think that dance has always been my therapy.
Yeah.
And I really notice that if I'm getting too busy and I don't do it, then, you know, things start to derail. So dance is definitely my number one, but I also do things like meditation. I journal a lot. But I would definitely put dance as like my top thing.
Oh, awesome. So what makes Brazilian dance different from other dance fitness programs that are out there? Because I know they've got so many, you know, different variations of different, you know, things out there.
Yeah, so Brazily Dance is our first program that we're getting revved up to launch next week. We're very, very excited about it. But it's a dance fitness program using exclusively Brazilian music and dance moves. So really what we're trying to do is bridge the gap between overly simplified dance fitness programs that are currently out there, but not quite as complex as like a dance studio class where it takes you a full hour to learn one song, right? So we're kind of that in between. So we really want the focus to always be dance. So yes, you're going to get a good workout, but what we want is for you to feel like you're progressing from class to class, because we feel that that confidence that you build through dance and allowing yourself to be challenged and, you know, get better with time, that's the biggest benefit from dance. Like, yes, you can burn 800 calories, 1,000 calories, but how is that going to change your life? Probably not too much, right? So I think that, you know, it's just really allowing yourself to, you know, feel the difficulty and like, okay, I didn't get it this time. Like I really couldn't move my hips the way that, you know, the instructor was, but maybe I'll be able to in a month, right? Because like I said, like I grew up in Canada, right? So even though, you know, my blood, like my roots are Brazilian, I didn't grow up like every Brazilian dancing and just like, you know, ever since they were little, they know how to samba. That wasn't the case with me. So when I started, you know, doing Brazilian dance, I would literally go home like after my classes and I would practice in front of the mirror and until I felt confident, you know, and then I would go back to the next class and be like, yes, like I did it, you know? And I think that there's so much to be said for that, right? Like, I think that it's in our human nature to want to be challenged. And that is what keeps people engaged, right? Because if you're just going to a class where you're just like moving your arms around and, you know, it's the same thing class after the class, like very little like mental stimulation, I think that members start to get bored, right? So we want to make sure that we really focus on that engagement and that the instructors, you know, really emphasize about how it's not about becoming like the best dancer in the world. It's about you allowing yourself to make mistakes and grow and, you know, evolve into the person that you want to be through dance, because it's such an amazing tool. Like, I honestly don't think I would be a business owner if I hadn't started to dance, because it really transfers into your life, right? Like, you build confidence in ways that you can't even imagine, right? So I think that that's what makes our program different, is that we're focusing on the dance element to it. So our formula is very much like, it starts with a warm up, and then there are 2 songs that are a little bit easier to follow. And then bam, there's one that's a little bit more of a challenge. And the instructors are encouraged to slow down and preview what's to come. So it's very different than other programs, like where it's like press play and no pause because we want people to burn as many calories as possible. It's like, no, we want people to feel comfortable, right? So if they kind of know what's coming, right, and you know how to cue it in a way that's fast and efficient and they understand, that will make feel more at home, and they'll feel like, okay, everyone's learning this together. It's not just me, right? So it's very different in that sense.
See,
and
now for someone
amazing.
Now, someone like me, I mean, I can't dance. I can barely, you know, get on that move. So I have gone and I've tried to get it. So how would you keep someone like me engaged? Because I have like walked out of classes.
So I think that it really goes back to the instructor knowing how to properly teach the mindset piece to their participants, right? Because if you go into anything in your life and you give up after one try,
Yeah.
you're not going to get very far, right? So it has to be something where like you make your participants feel at home and welcome and safe to make mistakes and grow. And you really, you talk to them before the class, you talk to them after, you offer other opportunities for them to be close to you and get extra guidance, right? So something that we would do a lot in Brazil was like, we had, like my husband would teach, I would teach with him, and we would have his full class, but he would also do private classes and semi-private classes, so with smaller groups. So that those smaller settings allowed him to really break down step by step, and then people would become more comfortable with that. So I think that not only does that help the participants, become more, comfortable with their dance skills, but it also generates other revenue streams for the instructor, right? So they have an opportunity to connect even deeper with their participants.
Yeah. And, I think that would have probably worked for me, because every time I have gone into a group dance kind of setting, it's been a large group at one of the gyms, and you've got 15, 20, more people in the room, right? So you don't really get that, that personal touch.
Yeah.
That
So I
sounds like,
think that's such a good point, because especially now, like after the pandemic, gyms have to come up with better strategies to, bring people in who aren't the people who love dancing and love working out, right? We need to become more strategic in helping those, 80% of people who actually don't like working out, right? So I
right.
think that offering those kind of programs where it's like, hey, this is like the introduction to Brazilian dance. So here we're going to break down step by step. The focus is going to be on you progressing, and not so much like, hey, can you burn 1,000,000 calories, right? It's,
Yeah.
like you having the chance to ask questions and get more clear on certain steps that maybe you can't see if you're all the way in the back, right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
I think that that's a very important thing that gyms should start considering.
Yeah, I think so too. So what is your company's mission?
Okay, well, our mission is to share like the very unique joy and vibe from Brazil with the rest of the world. And I think that we can do that by offering instructors all the tools they need to really follow their passion in a way that's sustainable for them too. Because again, it goes back to that self-care. Because I think that fitness instructors are probably like the most passionate professionals out there,
Yeah.
but they spend so much time taking care of everyone else and they forget about themselves along the way, right? They are very prone to burnout, vocal issues, right, from screaming so much, and just like mental fatigue, like everything, like it's a lot, especially if you're teaching like 1,000,000 classes a week, right? So we really want to come together, build a community where we're all helping each other and sharing what works. Like if someone lives in, say, like New York, and they say like, hey, I tried this, and like this has really been helping me generate income and create more impact. And then someone who lives in LA is like, hey, oh my God, I never thought of that, I can try that too. So like become like a team where we all help lift each other up and give the tools for the professionals to really like hone their craft and just continue to focus on their passion, because they are the best people to change people's lives. So we just want to help them do that.
Oh my gosh, I love your mission. So who all can benefit from the Brazilian fitness programs?
So anyone who's looking to have, like from a participant standpoint, someone who's just looking for more fun and joy and just finding a way to, let loose and not take life so seriously. Because I think that that's what's so great about like Brazilians in general. They're way more spontaneous. Like I feel like here in Canada, at least, I'm not sure about in the States, but I think it's pretty similar. I feel like everything is so planned and organized.
Oh
It's like,
yeah,
yeah, it's like, oh, I need to meet with my friends, but like, what's your schedule looking like for next month? Let's plan something. Whereas in Brazil, it's like, what are you doing? Okay, let's just like run down to the beach. Like, let's just do this like impromptu barbecue. Like, what do you have in your fridge? And
right.
I remember that like in the beginning, that used to really stress me out. Like when my husband would be like, oh, let's just do this and this with these people. And like sometimes he would be like, oh, I'm bringing so and so over, like they're gonna come over for lunch, and be like, the house is a mess. We have no food. What are we going to do? And it used to really like stress me out. And now I've come to realize that those moments are always the best moments. They end up
Right.
being so much more fun, and you remember them, you end up figuring it out. And also it really filters into your life, like the people who are
Yeah.
meant to be there, because the people who are your friends and who are there for you, they're not going to care if your house is a mess. They're not
Exactly.
going to care if you're like heating up leftovers, right? And
Right.
so I think that that's what we really want to show, that it's more than just like going to a dance class. It's like living your life in a way that just you can do what you want, care less about what other people think of you, and
Right.
just have more fun and like more joy in life, right? So for the participant standpoint, that's the important thing. And I mean, obviously we want that for the instructors too, right? But it also goes a little bit deeper with them, where we also want to give them the support for them to make the money they want to make and have the sustainable career, take vacation without that affecting their income. We
Right.
want to create that safe space for them to grow and to highlight their efforts, because I think with other more established programs, like it becomes hard for you to really stand out in a sea of like a
Right.
million instructors. So some of these instructors, they want to be presenters at events. They want to, train other instructors, and sometimes they're not given the opportunity to, hone those skills and, become a leader. And that's
Yeah.
what we want to offer them.
Wow. So this is really, I mean, it's another thing for trainers and the different fitness instructors to have in their toolkit.
Yeah.
So if and it's online, right?
Yes, it's online. So our first course will be online. And what we're going to be doing with the first people who come on, like these are going to be the people who like believed in us now. So we're going to believe in them too. And we're going to grow together, right? So these are the people we're going to be considering to become master trainers, choreographers for our program, assessors. So they'll be, able to assess other instructor videos when they come in and things like that. We want to give them other opportunities to grow with us, right? And so when our courses do go live, then we'll have them trained to run their trainings wherever they live, right? So our first course will be all online.
Oh man, this is just awesome. I mean, because like for someone like myself, I don't dance very well, so I would probably take it just so I could get all the dancing and stuff, down myself. And then yeah, it would be something fun that I could offer my clients that I don't do right now,
Yeah,
and
and
be able
and
to.
even if you don't want to teach it, you can partner with another instructor, right? And they can
Oh,
teach online for you or something like that, right? This is what I
yeah.
mean about us collaborating together, right? And helping each other out, right? Because even
Right.
if dance is just not your thing, maybe you just want to be a participant, that's great, right? But you can
Yeah.
partner with
Right.
someone who can help your participants on that level for the people who want to do it, right? And we, like I mentioned,
Okay.
we have 3 other programs in the works too. So the first one is our baby. It's the Brazilian dance program, but we have another one that's Brazily Sculpt, and it's a full body workout in a very specific way that Brazilians do their workouts. So of course, a lot of booty focus, but it's very cool, and like it's only done in Brazil. And we have another one that's actually my husband taking the lead on it. It's a functional training soccer program. So it's for you to work on all your soccer skills in the gym all year long. So you don't need to be out on a field. And the last one that we're going to do is also a dance-based program, but it's also mixed with a boot camp. So the dance is a little bit simpler to follow, and
Mhm.
get some boot camp style exercises in the program too.
Fun. Well, I love the whole partnering thing. I mean, collaboration is key, I feel, in
Oh my
anything that
God,
we
it's
do,
everything.
right?
It's everything. Yeah.
So we'll be talking about that because I think my
Yes.
clients need a little something, need a little shake it out. So,
Yeah.
so how
We
can
all do.
people
We all
sign up
do.
to? How can they sign up to become a Brazilian dance instructor? What do they need to do?
So right now, we're getting ready for our pre-launch. So next Wednesday, basically, it's a campaign where we're going to be inviting people to sign up for when the course is ready. So it should be ready just a few weeks after our pre-launch, but basically they're going to have the opportunity to sign up and win the course for free. So we're giving 5 grand prizes. So you'll have a chance to just by putting your name in, you'll be in the running. But then you'll also every time you share the page with friends, like on social media, we'll have a point system. So every time you do one of the things that we ask you to do, you increase your points and you can get up to 50% off from the training. So it's very exciting. Yeah. So then, like I said, we really want to do something special for the people who are coming in now. And because these are the people who are going to grow with us, we're going to get, their really valuable feedback on, what we can do better and what we can, because we want to do literally everything they need. Right. So it's very important for us to, in this initial phase to get feedback.
Wow, great. So look, we are going to cut to a quick commercial break and we will be right back.
Wait, you want some more?
Awesome. And we are back. That was our Mupo Entertainment commercial there. And you know what? They were grooving on there. Lots of dancing there. So, excuse me. So what exactly is the training process like for someone that wants to become an instructor for Brazily Fitness?
Okay, so the course is all online. We're going to be giving a bunch of different choreography. So you'll have all the choreography there for you. But basically, we want to make sure that you understand what the formula is. So how to put the classes together. So basically, the way it works is there's a warm-up track. Then there are 2 songs that are a little bit, easier to follow. And then there is a little bit of a more challenging track. And then it goes kind of like that to the rest of the class. So we want to understand that you know how to put that formula together. And you also know how to diversify your class because there are so many different Brazilian music styles that people can't even imagine. Like they think, I think most people think Brazil, they think samba. Yeah. And it goes so much more beyond samba. So what we don't want to do is say someone really resonates with Brazilian funk and then all of a sudden their whole class is Brazilian funk. We don't want that. We want them to be able to mix and match with different styles. So that's a key thing. And also we're going to be testing your ability to cue your class, right? So it's one thing to just know how to dance, but it's another thing entirely to teach it, right? So at the end of the program, you'll have to submit a 30-minute video of yourself teaching a class. So that this can be to, your friends and family. You have to have at least 3 people taking your class so that we can see your interaction with people. And so then we're going to be testing things like your musicality. Do you add your own style to it? Or are you just kind of, following things robotically? We want you to be you, right?
Yeah, right.
So, and seeing if you really embody the overall vibe of the program. So you'll get an assessment, returned to you, and then you'll see if you pass or not. So we want to make sure that the people who come through our program are qualified and feel ready to teach, because there are some dance fitness programs out there. I'm not going to mention any names where you sign up for the program. And, I remember when I took one course once where there were 80 people in the room. So you had very little one-on-one feedback. And, half the people there couldn't follow a beat and they all walked out with a certificate saying I'm licensed to teach. So that's not what we want, because like I said, we want it to be a very dance essence program, right? So another thing is that we have the preset choreography. you will need to use that choreography, right? So we need to make sure that you can teach that choreography, right? Because
Right.
what we don't want is to offer too much flexibility when it comes to the choreography, because then we'll lose the standard across the board, right? Because what happens with some other fitness programs is like, you know, you take my class and I like to do it a certain style, but then you go to someone else's class, it's more like aerobicsy and less dance, you know, so we want it to be the same. So if someone lives in Miami and they're used to doing their Brazilian dance class and they take vacation and I don't know, they're in Ohio and they take a class, they know what to expect. It's going to be the same thing. And I'm also thinking more down the road, you know, once we start to like host events and like get-togethers and stuff, like how cool would it be for everyone to get together and everyone's dancing the same thing, you know? So that's why it's important to us. And I think that also goes back to like one of my first experiences, like when I went to a club in Brazil. It was really funny when I was a teenager because, you know, like when you go to you watch a movie and all of a sudden, like in the middle of the movie, everyone gets up and they're all doing the same dance. And you're like, how realistic is that? Like that everyone knows the choreography, but in Brazil, that's literally what it's like. Like there are certain songs where everyone knows the official choreography. Especially now with TikTok, right? Like it's like everyone knows the moves. So we want to create that vibe, you know. So, yeah.
Oh, I love that. There's two things that stood out right now as well that you said. You know, when you have the instructor and them being able to, you know, have that same choreography, but add their own funk to it, right? Like it's, you know, even if it's a little way that you shimmy or a little, but it's still the same moves, right?
Exactly.
You know,
Even in the videos, they'll see that it's me and my husband. And even though we're doing the same choreography, we dance very differently. We have our unique things, right? Like he doesn't like to dance as girly as I do, you know? So, but we all have our style, even though we're following the same foundational movements, right? So that's why like, you have the foundation, but you have also the permission to add your funk and your flair to it.
Right. Yeah. And that's going to help the person that, or your people, your clients to really resonate with you. You're going to be bringing in your tribe. You're going to really be you know, just really magnetizing, just out there magnetically, charging out there that, hey, you know, come to me, you know, and you're just, those people are going to stay with you for a long time because they love you. They love your energy. So I love that. It's not, you know, robotic, because when you do go into some places, I mean, it's robotic. You can just,
you can tell. And we really want exactly what you said. I couldn't agree more. Like, I think that your vibe attracts your tribe. And there are people out there who are waiting for you specifically to help them. Right. So like, I want to give all the instructors the tools for them to just be themselves. And, you know, even if that means like admitting if you're having a bad day, because I think what happens a lot in like the fitness instructor world is like, you have to always be, I'm always happy. And like, you know, and it's unrealistic. Right. So like, be human and allow your members to see that. Right. And I think that like, we want them to be themselves, but we need to, you know, work together and lift each other up for that to happen.
Yeah, most definitely. So are there any special opportunities for people that are joining the team right now?
Yeah. So the master trainer opportunity. So that is a big one, because you'll be able to run trainings in your town. So you'd be able to license other instructors. So that's really cool. Also for presenters. So once we start, we're going to be doing some conferences and hosting other workshops, and we're going to be needing presenters to help us with these events. And also choreographers. So for the Brazily dance program specifically, we're going to want to train other instructors to use their choreography too. So it's not like we want to just like, oh, it's my choreography is the best. No, we want everyone to share their own choreography, because then like, you know, you can choreograph a song and then all of a sudden every Brazilian dance instructor in the world is using your choreography, right? So we want that. So that, and also assessors for the videos. So once people submit their training videos, we'll need people to assess the videos. And then we can think of so many things down the road, but these are the major ones for now.
Those are some great opportunities, and everyone out there. I mean, if you're a trainer, if dance instructor, you're looking for something, a little bit new to help you stand out, definitely connect with Mariana and the Brazily Fitness team because this sounds just awesome. I mean, I was already like, nah, I wouldn't do it, but now I'm like, hey, you know what? I think I'm game. I'm gonna try some Brazilian Fitness.
Yes, I love it.
So do you have any special, words of encouragement, anything that you want to share with our audience before we close today?
Well, I think that, especially if you're watching this today and you're a fitness professional and maybe you've been a little bit down after the pandemic, I just want to encourage you to continue to follow your passion. And I just want you to know that I've been connecting with so many people in the fitness industry to help grow my program and offer the most amazing things to you. But I just want you to know that the general talk in the fitness industry is that we need to do better and we need to offer better support. So know that that's happening and everyone's thinking about you and how to make your life better too. And just stick to your passion because people need you more than ever. And and we need you and everyone needs you, and let's all grow and have fun together.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I love it. Well, Mariana, thank you so much for joining us today. This has been amazing. And everyone, she's going to be back. They've got their launch coming up next week. So we're going to be back on here celebrating, partying, just really, really just raising the vibration for Brazily Fitness. And I want you to join us next week as well. So again, thank you so much for joining me today. This has been awesome. Everyone have an amazing Wellness Wednesday. It's going to be an awesome, awesome day. And we will see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks so much, everyone.